Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Long Dark Nights podcast. I'm Kirk Steven.
I'm Jitwire. And today we have a very special guest. Please welcome Esseffe Plays.
Oh, hey up.
Hey.
Hiya. I was just reading the chat.
Yep. Before we get started, can everyone hear us okay? Does everything sound good? No crazy noises or anything like that?
My squeaky chair, maybe.
Go ahead and say hello to chat here. We have a lot of people.
Well,
Hi.
Pickle Little, Faye, Pyro, Elijah, Toasty Bits. Hello.
Slipped Gear, Lucky, Grape Nut.
And Dr.
Everyone.
Frost.
Yes,
Thanks,
and
everyone.
Dr. Frost.
You guys are popular.
Okay, everybody says we sound good, so I think we're good to go.
Awesome. And I don't know why Dr. Frost is trying to put a poll up, so just ignore him. Hey, Mark. Thanks for coming in.
So first of all, I want to say thank you to Faye. Faye's the one that recommended that we reach out to Esseffe to come on as kind of a new player to the Long Dark, and he's been doing the streaming and the YouTube thing for a while, from what we understand. But being the new player to the Long Dark, a lot of us all like to live vicariously through new players and what have you. And so Faye was very animate about getting you on with us today. So thank you very much.
Yes, and Pyro
Faye.
as well.
And Pyro, Pyro as well.
Yep.
Good. That's lovely. They're always lovely in my like in the comment section and stuff. They're always saying lovely things. So I think they've mentioned you guys a few times as well. To be fair, I think that's how I found out about the podcast that you guys do. So,
oh well, thank you guys.
Circle.
Yeah, and it really has.
And then for anybody who's here that has not heard of, or you have not been to his YouTube channel, it is in the description. There's a link, so that'll make it easy for you guys to find.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I'll also put it up in a pinned comment after the stream is over as well. So you'll have two places to find it.
Yeah. Easy to find. Easy to find. Go check him out. Go give him some love.
Disclaimer, extremely new. I don't know where the 50 hours have gone.
Yeah. Right. So to get us started, Esseffe, how did you first find the Long Dark? How did you first start playing it?
Gosh. Okay. So June last year, it must have, no, yeah, I think it was about June 24. I was playing Stranded Deep and Subnautica, and like just generally playing those sort of exploral, sort of like high energy games. And people kept recommending the Long Dark to me, and I tried it a couple of times, and it just felt, I don't know, it felt quite slow compared to what I was playing. But then after a bit of a break, I think it was probably about November, December last year, 24, and I started playing it, and it was just, I didn't know what I wanted, what I needed to play, but it just ended up being exactly what I needed. It was odd. It was odd, but
kind of the right game at the right time. Addicted.
Yeah, the right pace, the right everything, and since then I've just been addicted. I think since December, I think I'm up to about 50 something hours now, and it doesn't feel like it. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it. It feels like maybe 10 maximum. I still feel like I haven't really learned anything at all.
So yeah, I haven't watched your whole series. So where was your first spawn in the game? What map did you first spawn in?
I spawned just outside of the dam in Mystery Lake, literally right outside the dam. I think there was, or just down the tracks. I came up the tracks a little bit. I don't know what happened. I think I panicked basically for 45 minutes, and then it didn't end well, but that was my first spawn. I just didn't have a clue. I had a HUD. Everything was going down. I was losing health and temperature and food and yeah. I think a lot of panic just led to basically just me dying.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Oh no!
it was bad.
What mode did you start in?
Not the lowest, the one up from the lowest, because I think what's the lowest
Voyager.
difficulty?
Pilgrim.
Yeah, so Pilgrim doesn't have predators, right?
It has predators, but they're set to passive, so they run away from you.
Okay, yeah. So I think it was the one above, so Voyager, but it just felt, I don't know. I just had no knowledge at all, and it just felt so punishing initially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the things the game does that when I first started playing was it doesn't hold your hand at all. And so when you're playing, and I'm a big fan of Subnautica. I haven't played Stranded Deep yet, but huge fan of Subnautica. It kind of it'll hold your hand. It's like, oh, you get a radio message and you got to go over here. Oh, look, you found this thing, and you do this, and it kind of holds your hand a little bit. Long Dark's not like that. It's like, there you go, figure it out.
Yeah, I think the point is that you learn through losing, don't you? Like it kind of teaches you, but it only teaches you after you've made the mistakes. So like okay, my hunger bar got so low on this run that I ended up losing condition, and then because I was low on condition, I then couldn't go and fetch food because I was too slow or I was too cold, or it only really teaches you after you've made the mistake of not treating a stat, and then afterwards you think, oh, okay, I need to look after myself there a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And it falls very into what Jitwire just released this week about failures.
Yeah, learning through failure.
Essay.
Yep.
Teaching through failure. Yeah, someone just put that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, you don't it's not so much hold your hand, it's more your parents sort of 10, 15 feet ahead of you and you're falling over, and they're sort of, come on, catch up. You're sort of learning how to walk, but you're not taught. So
yes. Also have some more people coming in chat here. So I just want to say hello real quick to Donovan, Moulin, John, and Defiant. Thank you all so much for joining us. And Pyro, I also see you asked a question about some background music or fire crackling. I'm sure Kirk and I can put something like that together just to be in the background. So you don't think we disconnected while people aren't talking. So it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll work on that.
Yeah, Pyro points it out there. He said the car freeze death. He says, I know that one. Yeah. I essentially just slept in a car with no clothes and no anything and died.
Oh no.
It was quite possibly the worst start I've ever had to a game. So
and it's funny because you're talking about that and everything. I can remember like the first foolish move I made was like getting a sleeping bag out in the middle of nowhere next to a rock with a fire, thinking I'm going to be fine, and go to sleep and you're dead. And you're like, what happened? How did I do? What went wrong? And and then through that like Hard Knocks life deal, you can't do this, or okay, it's not a good idea to sleep in the trunk of the car.
Wait, yeah. So I guess like just having your sleeping bed out or your bedroll in the open, I guess the weather could change like severely and then kill you like while you're sleeping, right? Okay, yeah, because I've done that quite recently still. Like slept in the open.
One of the funniest moments I had with Zach, we were watching DH Dunn play, and he did that outside Skeeter's Ridge, which is in Pleasant Valley, and he laid down the bedroll and proceeded to sleep for 6 hours. And right before he went to sleep, Zach put in there, "I predict death." And no sooner he said it than Dunn died. And it was a beautiful moment. It was like the great wizard had predicted.
He's done the forbidden.
Yes.
Yeah.
Faye says I ran around with no pants for like a week as well.
And people do that as a challenge.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, Zach's got a whole thing about being naked. I think Dunn has done a thing where he has to drop everything. Yeah. We all do crazy things. You get to the point where it's like, okay, I need something harder. And some of those guys that stream are crazy about that. I know like Wands and Only and Archimedes are always looking for brutality for some reason.
Yeah, Nogoa. Oh my gosh. Which is I don't know if you've ever heard of that, SF. It's a custom challenge. It's no one gets out alive, and you essentially have no health regen for the whole run.
Yeah.
So once you lose the health, you don't get it back at all, unless you use a stim. Yeah.
So like all four of your attributes need to be, like not empty ever.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can't get cold. You can't be hungry.
You can't get attacked by anything because once you lose the health, it's gone.
Of course, yeah.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
It's brutal.
I'll stick to my
not quite.
I'll stick to my Voyager run where I've got 55 active ketchup chips.
Jitwire and I play one, and I know everybody's going to get crazy because we're going to talk about it. But we play Dead World, which is there's no animals, but the weather is turned up on ridiculous. I mean, the weather will change in 5 seconds. It'll be fine, and you'll be in a blizzard, and you're super cold, and you're running out of food and everything else. But you do regain a little bit of health. You have mild regeneration, so you gain about 6% of your health every day. It's not quite no go, but it's like right at its doorstep.
Yeah,
I guess entertainment in suffering.
Some.
Yep. Right.
I did recently watch. I watched a few videos that Zach had uploaded where he gave himself like the worst spawn possible, which included him jumping off a cliff.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I think he was doing like the cheating death thing where I know I've heard Archimedes talk about this. It's a challenge where you purposely cheat death 3 times in a row. And so you take the permanent health loss. And so you essentially start with, 25% health. That's it. And he was even going on about getting hurt or something too, getting frostbite or whatever. But you have 25% health. I mean, that's how ridiculous sometimes we all get.
Yeah,
it's fun. I mean, if you enjoy the game universe, it doesn't really matter what you do,
No, not at all. And I think that's one of the things that sunk in with me a couple of years ago when I started doing this and doing the content creation. I think one of the things that always settled in with me with both Zach and several other, but it's like you can't play wrong. If you're alive, you're not playing it wrong. You're just playing it the way you want to play it. So that's
it might not be sort of ideal. It might make other people angry. I tend to annoy a lot of people the way I play, like quite badly. I go like the wrong direction, or I'm still getting used to the clothing, so I tend to scrap a lot of good clothing, thinking that it's not so good, and then people watch it, and it's sort of, I can imagine how it makes people feel. Like it would make me sort of wince and cringe, like, oh, that jacket's quite good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. These guys say that you guys can't go 20 minutes without talking about Dead World. Is that like that's your thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. We love it.
I've had a series running since November of last year. I'm at 71 episodes.
Oof.
And Jitwire's had one running since October of last year. And yeah, so we're both at about the same point. We're both about 130, 140 days in to survival on that, and we're down to the nitty gritty. There's no food left.
Yeah.
Oh, so stuff doesn't respawn?
No.
Can't fish. Can't hunt. It changes the game to being more of a scavenger than a hunter gatherer. So it changes the dynamic of the game quite a bit, and it's just one of our favorites. And I know everybody laughs because we talk about it a lot, but we both play Stalker and we do that. And Jitwire's actually got a new code that she came up with that I'm dying to try. So when I get an opening in my recording schedule, I'm gonna ask her if we can do it.
Yep,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So have you tried any of the custom codes or anything like that, or are you just playing like the basic difficulties that are there?
Wait, so if someone changes like the difficulty settings, they can send you like a code to their save, like to their settings.
Yep.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Not necessarily the saves. They're you go into the customization mode, and you can set the game to play the way you want. So, a big one that's in the community, a lot of people they don't like Interloper because it doesn't have guns in it. You have to create stuff. So they'll go in and do a custom deal where you add the guns back in, and they call it Gunloper. You could, if you wanted to up your game a little bit and you wanted to say, okay, hey, I can't handle the Timberwolves, go in and turn them off.
But you can still play on a high difficulty, but then just remove certain aspects.
But turn off the one thing that's giving you trouble right now. The only downfall to doing the customs, and this is good for you because I just watched the last of your live stream today, and you were looking at all your badges and stuff, which give you little perks. The custom games do not apply hours or time to those perks, so you lose out on that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can still get Steam achievements, but it won't count towards feats and badges in game.
Okay. Yeah, I guess because you could make it sort of too easy.
You could cheese it.
Yeah, cheese it. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna have to have a look at that, I think. I mean, I'm doing a million different runs at the moment, but it'd be nice to sort of, because I'm the same with Interloper. I really like. I've only done like a couple of maybe like 2-3 hours in that mode, but it feels like punishing enough to really be, if I get my character to sort of 10, 20, 50 days survived, I know I'm going to feel a sort of level of pride. But then, but I didn't like the idea that I'm not going to be able to find any weapons, and I do actually have to craft everything, because in all the time that I've played so far, I've not actually crafted any weapons at all. So, I think that would be ideal. What do you call it? Gunloper.
Gunloper. That's very popular.
Yeah. We have to have a look at that.
And you can also change the starting settings. So like if you want to play the harder Interloper and just get your feet wet with it, you can always set the starting gear to have matches. Like, because in Interloper you don't start with matches, you don't start with a sleep bedroll. So you can give yourself that too. So there's a lot of little things you can tweak in there, and turn off things, turn on things, and that. Like you can set it up to where you have, forever blizzard, or you can have forever fog, or it just
forever blizzard.
Forever night. Yeah,
forever night.
Nighttime.
Yeah. And they're going to open that up more. They're promising more to the customization menus coming. And I mean, Jitwire and I are salivating. We're like, oh, we can't wait. So they're gonna do, nonsense and brutality.
Yeah, and we have a question from John as well. So, do you want to go by Esseffe or Sam, or doesn't it matter?
I really don't mind. Esseffe is essentially my initials. That's where the name came from. Just Sam and then my surname. So I'm fine with Sam. Some people at me as SF, and other people call me Sam. I don't really. I guess Sam is easier. It's one syllable.
Gotcha. So yeah, John was asking, how do you feel about all the community help you've received? Is it too much?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think early on in the first couple of episodes I uploaded, I wasn't expecting to, as a start, I wasn't expecting to have so many people interact with the video, because usually if you upload a video on like for instance Subnautica, Stranded Deep, those games are a bit bigger, so I feel like your video might sort of get lost within the millions of other videos. And what I found with The Long Dark is that like a lot of people that comment on my videos tend to comment on all the other it's a very close community,
Yes.
So like so first of all, I wasn't expecting so many people to interact. That was the only thing that was maybe overwhelming, is that I suddenly had all these people wanting to help me. It wasn't the help itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was lovely. Honestly, it was a lovely balance between wanting to help and sort of letting me lead the way. It was almost like you had someone behind you sort of giving you help as to maybe suggestions, as opposed to being led. You just had sort of suggestions on what you should do. I think it was honestly perfect. The only thing I would say is that I have the memory of a fish. It's really, really bad. So when it comes to taking tips, I've got, I make notes when I go through the comments and stuff, and then it comes to the next video, and I remember, out of the 15 things I've written down, I remember one, and it's the most useless.
Yeah.
I think I uploaded a video earlier this week. After 50 hours, I finally did the trick where if a wolf chases you, you can drop a torch and aim a rock. And that was probably the first thing I was told. 50 hours it took to remember that one. So yeah, but it's been lovely. It's been really, really nice. So
that's always been, that was my nemesis too, was the wolves. And then I watched a Zach video. That's how it got me started. That's where the community came in. I watched Zach's video about how to avoid the wolves with the torch. And then you get swallowed up by this community because everybody is so helpful. You go watch streams, you ask questions, everybody. It's an amazing community. And that's why lovely. You were getting so much feedback is, people like Faye and Pyro, they talk to us, they go to Toasty, they go over, everybody goes, watches and comments and does all those things. And you get to know everybody as you're kind of following along. So yeah, it's a beautiful community.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's really nice. Someone says there that he's a classic bedroll forgetter, but he's our bedroll forgetter. Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like the more important something becomes, the less likely I will be to remember it.
Yeah, you kind of get into the mode of keys, wallet, phone when you're leaving a building. Like, do I have my sleeping bag? Do I have my food?
Cooking pot. Yeah, for me, it's bedroll, cooking pot. Should I grab a torch? And then, outside of that, I mean, I could easily forget the rest, to be honest. But at the beginning, it was more like, right, I'm awake. Where am I going? Off we go. And I just left everything behind.
Yeah. I think as you were saying, like about like the tips and everything too, I think it's harder whenever you're like actually in it and playing to like kind of recall those and be like, oh, this person told me to do this and they told me to do this.
Yeah.
And yeah. Because the game is really good at just sucking you in and like,
you're there. You're there. You're not.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like you're sort of externally playing anything. It feels like you're, I've just seen a deer. Am I hungry? I'm in the game when I'm playing it. It's honestly lovely. It's just it's very hard to remember so much when you're. I mean, my playthroughs are quite casual anyway, but I do try to be sort of in the game so that my reactions are genuine and that the emotions I'm feeling I'm portraying. So sometimes I'm thinking about that maybe a bit more than shall I pick up my bedroll? Luckily, I've been playing on Voyager, so forgetting my bedroll is not it's not a big deal. But these guys have warned me, do not touch Interloper until you start remembering your bedroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a good lesson learned.
Yeah, because on Voyager and Stalker, it's pretty easy to get another one. There should be at least one in almost every single region, but Interloper, that's not the case.
Yeah, no.
So how long have you made it in game so far?
Oh, I think we recently hit, I want to say 50 days on the Voyager run. So I think we're probably, I say that it might be 20. It might be way off. But I think, the Voyager run, we've been going for quite a while now. I've explored almost all the regions, except like not including the extra regions, because I didn't know about those.
I'd say 52 days in Voyager.
50, there we go. Yeah, I'd say somewhere around the 50 mark, which feels good. It does feel good. Voyager's really just fun. I've been using it to sort of just explore the world, really. I think initially I set myself a few challenges, but because there's so much loot and the game's punishing, but obviously the difficulty is not so punishing. So I've just decided to sort of have that run as, let's just go and explore all the regions and try and remember everything it is. And then I've got a Stalker run where, I'll maybe set myself some challenges and sort of see how it goes. But yeah, just over 50 days we got to.
Nice.
I've got a lot of stuff.
There is definitely a lot of stuff to be had on Voyager. Yeah.
Yeah. I think my what's the garage called in Coastal? Quonset?
Quonset.
Yeah. So that is absolutely like packed to the roof with loot, but it's all just loot that I didn't need. It was just there was so much stuff. I think we ended up leaving that there, and I've made my way up to I'm in Timberwolf Mountain at the moment. I think is that where we left it. Yeah, I think we left it in Timberwolf Mountain, but there's just so much loot to be had on the way. There's so many buildings or like the plane crash, for instance. There's so much to take that it feels like it's been a nice way for me to settle into the game. I think by the time I've explored all the regions, I'll be ready to I mean, these guys might disagree, but I'll be ready to up the difficulty and then really sort of, have a challenge then.
Yeah, map knowledge is crucial, especially when you play in the higher levels, because you get caught in a storm or you get in a situation, you got to know where to go. You got to know where your safety zones are and stuff. So yeah, map knowledge is amazing.
It's the caves as well. Like the caves and mines are so useful. I'm still getting used to where they are. I know where a couple are, like the easier ones to find. I think there's one in like Desolation Point that was like really obvious. It was just at the edge of the map zone sort of thing. But there's still a couple that are really helpful that I honestly, it takes me like too long to find, because I get to the region and I tell myself, oh, I sort of remember this, but then like I'll go past a couple of trees and suddenly I don't remember any of this. So yeah.
So I'm gonna assume you haven't met Scruffy yet. If you're talking about that cave as a safe place to go.
I've met one wolf in a cave. One wolf.
Okay.
That was either Desolation Point or what's next to that? What's the place next to that called?
Coastal Highway.
Okay, yeah. So it was around that area. I ran into one of those caves and I screamed. Okay, yeah, Scruffy, he did me. They said, I screamed. I got into the cave and I was thinking to myself, like, I'm in a cave. I don't really like. I can't stand caves, like caves and mines and stuff. I really don't like them. So I get in. I take a couple of seconds to sort of center myself and, right, we're going to go explore. I start lighting my lantern and I just see these eyes flying at me from a distance. And I'm trying to cancel everything and bring out my rifle and, I'm just trying to like figure out what to do. It was horrible. Oh, yeah, I've met that one.
You have a few more to go. I won't spoil though. But...
Okay. And a rabbit as well, right?
Larry, yes.
Larry, okay, yeah. I get told in capitals all the time, do not hurt Larry.
Don't hurt Larry,
yeah.
Don't hurt Larry.
If that accidentally happens, I reckon that video file gets corrupted before it gets uploaded. So
I don't know what happened to the footage. It just got burned.
I had to start again. I'm sorry.
You put a big sign up that just says "technical difficulties, please stand by," and you just skip over that part.
Yep.
I'll get some sort of green screen bunny to appear on screen. So.
So Pyro's making a comment here. So you haven't done Summit yet?
No, I haven't got to the summit. I'm in Timberwolf Mountain. I'm in it's like a little hut on a frozen lake in Timberwolf Mountain. That's where I'm at the moment. I've explored a little bit, but because the map, this is the thing I found as well. Like I tried to keep my videos. Initially, I was trying to keep them to 30 minutes, but that is just not enough time to really enjoy the game. Like I felt like I was really rushing myself. So I've upped it now I try and get it done between say 35, 45, and then I limit to an hour. So if I get to an hour, I really find somewhere to stop. But yeah, the last couple of videos I've uploaded, I've been to I've gone from Timberwolf Mountain to Ash Canyon and then back again because that place scared me. So I just turned around and ran away. And I found, I think the entrance or one of the entrances to Black Rock or that sort of between area. But yeah, these guys have been saying, if you can get to the summit, it's really, there's loads of loot or something.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like capture that feeling, like the first time you're going to go and do Summit, like that's going to be.
I don't even know what to picture. Picture.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
You still know who'll get this soon. Yes. Yeah. I honestly don't know what to expect. Genuinely, I don't know what to expect. Like. Any time where people have said, "Oh, wait until you do this," or "I can't wait to see you do this," I've pictured it in my head, and then it's just not been that way at all. So yeah, I just don't know what to expect. I don't know what to think. So I'm just leaving my mind open, and then what will happen, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, completely agree, and I mean, again, kind of living vicariously through you with that, just because
it's cool.
It's so long.
I'm assuming it's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Okay. One thing I love is the flare gun at nighttime. Like I did one. Where was the first one I did? It was in the Piste in Coastal Highway. I think there was like a radio tower or something. I shot one off the roof there. It looks awesome. Then I went, when we explored a little bit more, I was at the lighthouse in Desolation Point or Coastal, and I shot one from there as well. So one thing I have said is that when I get there, I hope there's somewhere where I can fire the flare gun. That's all I hope.
You should be able to do that. I think
nice.
That'll be fair to say. I won't say anything more. And then when you have that experience done, we'll talk later. We'll have to have you back on. We'll have to have you back on later after you've had some more time to get more experience and stuff, and then you can reflect back from where you are here. Now, okay, you've
awesome.
talked about the flare. Have you played the challenge, the official game challenge of Hopeless Rescue?
No. So is that you have to get the flare gun from
the
no, because that includes the summit, right? Yeah. So yeah, I didn't want to start that one just in case it takes me to the summit. I felt like the first time I want to go there, or the first time I want to be there, I would like it to be in my survival run. So it feels like I've really, survived to get there. So no, I haven't touched that one. Yeah. I've just done.
Once you've done the summit, and if you enjoyed the thing with the flare gun, I would suggest doing Hopeless Rescue.
Yeah.
That because the flare gun is a main theme in that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I won't go into detail, but it's an integral part of that challenge.
Okay. Nice. I'm honestly starting to really love the game. Like I didn't think I would. I enjoyed it when I first started playing it, but it wasn't generally something that I've always sort of played things with a bit of I don't know what the word is. There tends to be guns, I guess. There's always something. The closest game that I kind of compared this to was, I mean, this might be strange for sort of veterans, but the closest thing I compared it to was when I first played through Fallout New Vegas, because it's sort of that open world. You're in a sort of different universe, and you're sort of free to do everything, but you will be punished if you do things wrong. But that's obviously got all the sort of different faction attitudes and loads of weapons and stuff. So I've never really, played something this calm. But what I've learned, like I sort of mentioned earlier, what I've learned after playing it for a while is that this is exactly what I needed. This game is really, it's calm, but sort of not. I don't know how to word it.
It has long moments of calmness with brief moments of sheer terror.
Yeah. Like, oh, I'm safe. I'll just go over here, I guess. Like, oh wow, I need to go home.
Yeah. Okay. Enough
of this. All my clothes are gone, and I'm almost dead.
Yeah, we talk about Fallout quite a bit because we've been using that kind of as an analogy with the new game coming out, Black Frost. We have a feeling that they're going to it's going to be something like that because there's you've got story mode and then you've got the survival game. I think they're going to kind of blend those two coming in with Black Frost. It kind of makes sense because that prescription works really well in all the Fallout games. I'm a big fan of I like Vegas and also 3 and 4, but I have a feeling they're going to work the story into the game because I think that's where the tales come from. That's the whole thing with the traitor. I think they're trying to get everybody, testing them to make sure this is they can get away with it.
I get that. So from what I understand, when they made The Long Dark, they were like it was like a Kickstarter. They were quite a small company, right?
Yep.
But I assume the game
you were off the air. I just figured that out. I hadn't heard from you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was Kickstarter.
Yeah. So, but I assume by now that they've obviously grown quite a bit. So they're they're like an official. Not to say they weren't before, but they're like like a recognized game studio now. So I mean, they can literally do anything with the new one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense to kind of keep it almost like the same flavor as the original one because, I mean, your experience with the community now, we kind of like what we like, and we like the game because it's so different.
It has a niche.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But obviously, I guess at the same time, they do need to find a way of sort of, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I don't really know what I'm trying to say there, but I like the idea that we'll be able to play with friends. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just how they do it.
Yeah, find a happy middle ground, to kind of appease the people who are currently playing the original one and who have loved it for years and years, and then also try and bring people new in, because that's how a game studio is going to thrive and be able to go and do more new cool things. Oh,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm just reading the chat. It's literally just quotes from me.
Yeah.
Donovan says that you're a trophy collector. So what do you collect?
The fish trophies. So yeah. So like my my main goal on my Voyager run is so Matt. I think his name was literally just Matt. It was like Matt212. A lot of people were talking about the DLC, and then I think Matt ended up actually buying me the DLC. Like he donated enough for me to buy the DLC. So I went and bought the DLC, and everybody was saying, make sure that you check out the what's the backpack thing called? The travois?
Yeah, the sled.
Yeah, the sled. Yeah. So what I plan on doing with the Voyager run is, because obviously I feel like on Voyager you could survive quite a while, especially as someone that sort of played video games for quite a long time. So once I've explored everywhere, what I do this is so stupid. What I do plan on doing is just essentially crafting the sled and just filling it to the top with fish trophies, and just taking them somewhere and just like painting the walls with fish trophies, and then just retiring, and that'll be me done.
That's great.
Yeah. So I did try without the sled. I think at one point I was sitting at like 48 kilos, and about 35 of it was just fish trophies.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, starving, freezing, no clothes. So.
I guess I can do this without water.
I will find a way, So yeah, they wind me up a lot. I just try and make it. I love just taking like serious games and kind of making it a bit funny. Like I did the same with Stranded Deep when I played that. The boat I made. You can kind of make it in like you can craft the base of a boat in like 2x1 slots. So you'd think, I'll make like a big, I'll make like a 10x5 or something, like a ship size. I just started spelling my name in boat. That's kind of my thing. I just kind of take the seriousness away from the game, and then just sort of just like having a laugh with it. And these guys seem to enjoy it. So
yeah,
I really enjoy it.
It's funny. You do good work.
Remember the wolf at the community center? Oh yeah. I got chased by a wolf in Pleasant Valley into the community center. So I was at one point I was saying, if this was me, I would just grab, and then I stopped saying it and I said, you know what, let me just show you. And I just grabbed all the furniture and I just blocked the door. You're not coming in.
I'm barricading myself.
Yeah. I've got a fridge and a stove, and the wolf is not coming in. So
yep.
That's the fun part about doing that. And that's, even with myself, I find myself when I'm doing the content creating stuff, there's just stuff that's just so silly. You can't help but make it fun.
You have to. And yeah.
So that's when I'm doing that. Like, I know a lot of times when I'm doing the stalker runs, I'll have the pistol out and I shoot the ground, or I shoot whatever. and so instead of calling it a pea shooter or whatever, I call it a tree shooter. And
that's
everybody.
What I mean.
So you try to just kind of make light of it and make fun of it. I always like to have the Astrid talking in the background, because it gives you somebody to argue with. And in fact, in my stalker run, I decided that my character was so lonely that it needed an emotional support character. So I kept a burdock root, and I call him Murdoch, and he hangs out in my backpack. So.
Yeah, the characters say like crazy things as well, right? Like,
and all at the wrong times.
Yeah, like I think I did a trek from. This is so stupid looking back at it now, and like I realized where I went wrong. But I walked from like the fishing huts in Coastal Highway to the garage, and it took me in game. I sped it up, and it took me like 5 to 10 minutes, and it was at 500% speed. So it actually took me about half an hour, and the whole way I was just telling myself, I could just drop some of this and do this in more than one trip. But the funniest thing was that my character kept saying to me, like, oh, I'm so tired. And it's because he hadn't slept for like 3 days and he was carrying like 40 kilos of junk. But it just makes it so funny. It really does. So
I always like when you're looting and they go, "Where's the good stuff?" Or "I hope nobody owns this," and it's like a piece of paper or something ridiculous. I don't think anybody needs this candy wrapper. I think you'll be fine.
Yep. Welcome, Canadian Lumberjack. He says, "Hi, everyone. New Islander here. Love the YouTube channels for learning and mistakes. Me feel not solo while playing. The tutorials and videos are awesome."
Oh,
thank you.
Jetwire does a great job with their tutorials.
Yeah, I try. And hello, Mary. Mary's just saying you're such a hoot, and you always make her laugh.
Yeah, I try and make more people laugh than angry.
Mm-hmm.
I can fully understand why people would be frustrated with watching me play, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the community though, they're pretty good though. I mean, a lot of game communities are just they're very toxic, I guess I want to say. So
yeah, I feel like this is what I was saying earlier about the whole sort of multiplayer thing. I think a lot of people will steer away from the Long Dark just because it is just fully single player. But because of that, it then creates, like, you have that sort of calmer, maybe more mature, I'm not sure, but you have that sort of calmer play sort of demographic, if you like, you know. So one thing I've noticed is that you know, most of the people that watch my gameplay on YouTube are either my age or older. You know, I'm in my early 30s. They're either my age or older, and that is just so lovely because I feel like you know, this. I mean, not to, you know, I'm just comparing myself to sort of. I'm comparing it to a younger version of me. You know, I wasn't maybe so nice when I was younger. So I think when you get to a certain age, you figure out what you do actually want to watch. You know, and a lot of the time it is just, you know, someone having fun or someone laughing and, you know, messing around. So I think that's why it's got such a lovely. The game's got such a lovely community. Is because we're all just here to have fun.
The thing that draws me in is that a lot of creators, including Jetwire and myself, you're not afraid to show your scars. If you make a mistake, you own it, and you wear it like a badge, in the sense that, you know, you don't hide it, you don't cover it up with an edit, you don't, you know, start the game over and don't let anybody know. So I like that with everybody. I mean, I watched all of Zach's videos because I do a lot of his stuff behind the scenes for him, and so I kind of watch it for ideas and things like that. And I love the fact that all of his videos, I mean, how many times we've watched him in a near-death experience has been ridiculous. So I love the fact that that everybody is comfortable enough in their skin that they're not afraid to show what happens. And I mean, and Jetwire can even attest to this because she just lost a run this week.
Yep. I did.
What was it too?
An Aurora Cougar.
Aurora Cougar. I've not even seen a cougar, let alone an Aurora. I've not even seen an Aurora animal.
Yeah. So I actually went and killed. It was a bug, actually, too, because I went and killed it the day before the Aurora, because I wanted to go into the tails bunker. I was like, I'm just gonna go take care of this thing, you know, before, you know, I try to go and get into this. And then I went back the very next day, and it actually respawned in 24 hours, and that's not supposed to happen. So at first I was standing there like I was dumb, like, is it the sound bug? Is it really back? And then it jumped me, and that was that. So.
Oh, that's rough. That's horrible.
Shredded her clothes, her body, everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And Slipped Gear is saying it's enjoyable frustration to watch you play. So
frustration,
there you go.
It's pretty much enjoyable frustration to play.
Yep, that's true.
You know, I don't enjoy making mistakes and dying, but I also do. You know, it's part of the journey. Like, I know that one day I'll probably be in a position where, like, I'm where you guys are. You know, like, I've got the hours in the game and I remember my mistakes, and then someone else comes along and they're like, oh, you know, playing this game 10 years later or something like that, and I'm like, okay, now, you know, the tables have turned and I get to enjoy this person really just suffer.
Mhm.
Oh, good, a
Yeah.
train wreck. Let's watch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, oh, he's going into the dam during an aurora. This will be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Touch those wires. You'll feel better.
Yep.
I've
Yep.
actually been in there during an aurora, and I didn't find out until after the video was obviously edited and uploaded that the cables can hurt you. So I must have just like
Left
just
your way
avoided
through
them.
it.
Yeah, you know, like my sort of
Better lucky than good.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much my
I have
life
survived
motto, to be honest.
many encounters in better lucky than good.
Yeah. And chat's talking about an Aurora rabbit. That would be Aurora Larry.
Everybody thought I was crazy, but I kept telling you there were those rabbits.
Yep.
They hide under the steps.
So where is he? Where is the rabbit? Oh, I don't know if I should ask that actually.
If you want to know, we'll share. But again, I don't want to give away.
Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah, I was thinking in my head. I was thinking, yeah, I want to know, but then also at the same time, I'm enjoying being scared when I enter caves, and people keep saying the same thing to me. They say, oh, there are only 4 indoor animals. You don't have to worry all the time. And I say, but I don't know where they are.
Yeah.
So they might as well be in every one.
Yeah, you know. People say like, no, there's no animal in that cave. You don't have to worry. It's like, but I don't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, Faye with the Aurora ptarmigan swooping in to steal your backpack.
Oh my gosh.
God, a pack of them as well. Oh gosh.
Yeah. It'll look like Hitchcock and the birds.
Yeah, so SF, I wanted to ask, what's your favorite region you've been to so far?
Oh. It's like there are a couple. I think because I started in Milton, I really loved Milton, and because it was still a town. You know, there was a post office, there was a bank, there was a gas station. It still felt like it was only recently had the accident happened. So I like Milton, but I think like environment wise and view wise and everything like that, I really like coastal. I love where the garage is positioned. I love like the huge open lake. There's, you know, there are wolves nearby, deers. There's a bear that lives on the other side of the lake. If coastal was just that area there, I think it would like easily be coastal. Otherwise, yeah, it's like a mix between, I'd say, either coastal highway or Milton or Mystery Lake, to be honest. And now I'm thinking about the lighthouse as well. I don't know.
Just the whole coastal area, from Coastal Highway all the way to Desolation Point. Just the whole coast. You like the coast?
Well, yeah, anywhere between, say, Desolation and Milton.
There you go. That's got to just cover the base.
I've only been to these areas like once. I haven't had time to like live there for a while. You know, like I feel like on the more difficult runs, you can't just, if you spawn in Pleasant, you know, an hour later, you're not leaving Pleasant. You're probably just trying to get somewhere to find shelter for the night or something. Whereas Voyager's a bit more like, you can probably afford to not loot an area. You can just run straight through it. And I'm guilty of that. I have sort of skipped some of the map a little bit by rushing it. It's only recently that I've really slowed down and decided, you know, I'm going to spend the next sort of 5 to 10 episodes in this area before I leave, because I don't know. It's just that realizing that I've made 30 videos and I've not gone back to the same spot once, I've realized, you know, I need to really sort of take my time because I might not be back here ever. You know? So, yeah. So, but I'd say.
Oh, what happened? Hang on a second, guys. We lost connection with them. They need to reconnect. Okay.
Ash Canyon.
Hang on just a second. You guys fell off here. I'm getting you back on. 1 second. All right, Jitwire, you're back. My apologies, everyone. They just kind of got disconnected for a second. So
I fell out of my chair.
Yeah. We had to lift him back up in the chair.
Sam's a loot goblin. I was going to say I'm not, but yeah, I think that's right. always overweight. Always overweight. Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, it would have to be one of the areas I'm scared of. So, I thought Desolation Point would be like the most difficult, just because when I entered it, there was just nothing. You know, there was like broken trees, buildings that I couldn't enter, like cars that had nothing in, and I was really not struggling, but I was getting a little bit scared as to like, okay, what am I going to do here? You know, like I've got nowhere to live. But then obviously you've got the lighthouse, you've got the what's the boat called? There's a ship that you can get into, can't you?
The Riken.
The Riken.
The Riken, yeah. So there's that, and there's obviously like the big factory area next to it. So I felt a little bit safer after that. The two that I'm really scared of at the moment, and it might just be because I've got sort of not so much experience in those areas, but Ash Canyon looks horrifying. It looks horrible. It's I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. Like I went through this like little mountain pass, and I ended up at Ash Canyon. I looked around, and I mean, honestly, in the video, I've not said anything for like 15, 20 seconds because I just didn't know what to say. You know, I didn't see anything. It was just trees. So, but yeah, I'd say either Ash Canyon or Black Rock, and I'm not going to say why because I've got a video coming out tomorrow that puts me in Black. Yeah, that puts me in Black Rock, and I don't want to spoil it, but Black Rock scares me a lot.
Gotcha. Well, I was going to ask about Timberwolves then, but I'll refrain from
tomorrow. Yeah. I've only bumped into them once, and I didn't really know how it would go. I didn't know if it was like. I just didn't know, you know, because I've bumped into wolves and stuff, obviously, like a lot of wolves as well. You know, I think at Coastal Highway, I bumped into like 4 wolves at once. So I didn't know whether it would be like just that again. But then, I don't want to say too much. They're different. They look different, don't they? Like they're completely different. Yeah, they can at different size. They're huge.
They are.
But yeah, I had a thing with them. Yeah.
Donovan said you saw Ash Canyon, said nope, turned around and left.
Yes, yeah. Like I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready at all, you know. Like
now, see, now this is where the experience changes. Ash Canyon is like my favorite map. Ash Canyon is amazing. It is such an amazing map. I love it. But it changes, and then the other thing I was going to mention to you, and this is something that a lot of experienced players will tell rookie players a lot of times is go do a certain number of days in every map. Go do 5 days, 10 days. Say, lock yourself in. Don't do anything but stay in that map and go explore and find every corner and learn the map. That's what it took for Ash Canyon for me. And once I got to exploring it and knowing how to maneuver and get used to it, that map is so incredible. It's like one of my favorite places to spawn. If I get an AC spawn, an Ash Canyon spawn, I'm like tickled because I know I can. Are
you telling the truth? I feel like I'm being trolled.
No. Total truth. Total truth.
You sound like like the guys that come to my live stream.
We get done if you like.
Yes. Evidence is needed for this statement.
Not a problem. You'll probably scratch your head and go, oh, I shouldn't have watched this. I'll watch and everything.
Like, wow, it's lovely here.
Yeah. And I'm the oddball out. Forsaken Airfield's my favorite, but you haven't been to the far territories yet,
I haven't been there yet. No.
Yeah.
That's like
another good one.
Is that on the tracks, on the train tracks?
Yeah.
You have to get there through that train tracks, yeah.
Yeah.
So you just follow the tracks and then it like takes you off the map, right? To like the new
it's kind of when you reach the far branch lines where the train tracks go to that, there's like a little train station, and then from there are 3 different ways you can go to the 3 different spaces, which is Forsaken Airfield, the Zone of Contamination, and Sundered Pass.
Zone of Contamination. That sounds lovely.
It's going to be a favorite for you if you don't like caves and mines. So I would say that one for last.
Okay, thank you.
I'll say no more.
Donovan says, "Sam, are you making notes there, buddy?" Yes, mate. The VOD for this is being downloaded.
Yeah, but yeah, everyone's kind of seconding Ash Canyon as a
It's a beautiful
favorite.
spawn.
So it's a good one.
Spawn. And if your RNG is good, it can be an amazing spawn.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good spawn. It's a good spawn when your RNG is not good. But if you get good RNG, it's an amazing spawn.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a prison as well, right, somewhere. Is that in Blackrock?
That's Blackrock.
Yeah.
Blackrock.
Okay. Yeah. Because I think
and that's one of the things I was talking about earlier is if like the Timberwolves if they become an issue for you in Blackrock, go start a game and turn the Timberwolves off, and then go explore it and get more comfortable moving about the map, and then go back to your run where the Timberwolves are on. So don't be afraid to do that. I mean, I did that a lot of my Dead World runs. I am not a big I don't know Hush River Valley very well. So when I was doing my Dead World run, I was like, I can't die over here. I need to know where I'm going. So I went and kind of explored it ahead of time and did that. So I do a lot of that. I'll do little pre-explores so I don't screw up a run too terribly.
Yeah, that's essentially what my Voyager run is. It's just someone that's I imagine my playthroughs as like a group of friends, right? And they've like got all their own roles. And my Voyager guy, whatever his name is, he's the guy that's got to go and scout out all the areas. So like I'll send the next guy out on a higher difficulty once the first guy's come back and found everywhere. So like at the moment, I'm just trying to get a little bit of a base going in each area, just so that I sort of understand it a little bit, so that when I start with a Stalker run, I'm then familiar with. Oh, I remember I came here before. I remember that there's a house over that way that I can sort of take camp in and such. So I think I get that. I think a lot of people recommended I do that as well. Just take a separate run and just go and explore, because the worst thing you can do is survive 100 days on Interloper or Stalker or something, just to then be in an area that you don't know and just die to something menial,
silly. Yeah
exactly. Yeah,
that's when the Aurora rabbits will get you.
Oh.
So at the prison in Blackrock, do the Timberwolves always spawn?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah, since the wildlife refresh, that has changed some. It used to be that Timberwolves were located only in Bleak Inlet and only in Blackrock, so you could kind of avoid them. Now with the refresh, they show up in different places, so you can actually get them in Timberwolf Mountain. You can get them in Pleasant Valley, and so you kind of have to learn how to deal with them a little bit as you go on. But again, it's one of those trial and error things. You find out, if I do this and I do this, I can kind of get through it.
Yeah, you will have a higher concentration of Timberwolves, though, still in Bleak Inlet and Blackrock, but sometimes you might have a regular wolf spawn there too, but still higher concentration in those two.
So yeah, John says that they're avoidable as well once you know the routes.
Yeah.
So it's not like they just lock onto you and follow you. If you know where you sort of get an idea of where they are, you can avoid them.
If you kind of know where they are, and if you see them before they see you, you can kind of like, whoa, wait, and then try to work around them. They do have a pretty big area
sniff
where
radius.
They'll detect you, but if you can learn that and stuff, you can avoid them.
Yep.
I wish I knew that before. They're not going to like it, I can tell you that much. But I'm honestly really excited to take like a higher difficulty run now and go back through the regions that I've been to, because I know that no matter how I approach it, I'll be the character will be different. I'll have different stats. I'll have different, even just like the skill levels. Really early on, I unlocked the ability to make, is it fires without tinder?
Yep.
I did that so early that I just forget about it now. So I played a run earlier when I was trying to make a fire, and for a second I couldn't understand why I couldn't make it. It's because I didn't have any tinder. Because I don't pick it up anymore. So yeah, I'm excited to sort of start a run on a higher difficulty, or just with a fresh character in general, and just like forget those things that I took for granted. So
Mark has got a good question, and maybe Jitwire can answer this, and I have something that I can add to it. But any hints on directions, north, south, east, west, given the lack of a compass?
Well, I mean, there is the stick trick you can use. So whenever you enter a region, you can drop a stick and see which way it's pointing. And they will always point north on that map. So if you move further in, drop another stick, it'll be pointing the exact same direction whenever you drop them. So you can kind of use that. It's not a really foolproof method, and it can still get pretty confusing because it's almost like the orientation for each map isn't consistent. So it can be a little confusing. The best thing I always recommend is to find yourself like a landmark, like a high landmark that you can see from pretty much everywhere in the map. Like the mountains that are in the backdrop are really, really good. That way you can keep an eye on it and you can know where you are in relation to that. So
yeah, the sun does follow east-west, but every map, the sun does not orient to the correct. So, like, you can't go from, like, one of the ones that I noticed just recently, and I was actually talking to Jitwire about this because we were laughing, but if you go from Mystery Lake into Forlun Muskeg, it's pretty much a straight shot through the train tunnel in, and the sun will be trekking in one direction. When you get into Forlun Muskeg, it's trekking completely the other way. So yeah, you can't, when you go from map to map, the orientation of north, south, east, west almost like is on a gimbal, and it changes. So you have to just pay attention to landmarks. Are probably your best bet in that situation. I don't even think about north, south, east, west when I'm playing the game. It's more of, okay, this is the entrance to, Mystery Lake. The other side is the entrance to, Broken Railroad. I know the railroad tracks run through the middle of it. I know that the poacher's camp is kind of in the middle, and then I can go in the other directions to know where to go from there. So you kind of use those orientations. North, south, east, west really doesn't work well, because even the real map, and this is something we were talking with Toasty Bits last week, is not, if you look at a map of the Long Dark region, they show it, in one direction, but it's actually turned on its side. And the northwest is, what you would think is north-south is actually east-west. So it's kind of confusing in that aspect. But yeah, Jitwire has a beautiful tutorial on this. You should go over to her channel and watch it. It's very well laid out. Very nice.
And what's kind of in that video and what I kind of do is whenever I go into a region, like I said, I look for a high point and I try and establish what is the middle of my map, and I use it as a reference point. So like in Mystery Lake, the railroad tracks run straight down the middle. So that way I can say, okay, this is the middle, and I can go left or I can go right, and I kind of try to remember where that is in reference to where I am and go back, and then also use, like I said, like a high point or a point of interest to kind of guide myself in addition to that.
So hopefully that was a very short answer to your question.
Yeah, right.
I essentially just have here and there, here being where I am and there being where I want to get to.
If you follow the sun through map to map, it'll never take you the right direction.
Yep. And Donovan is asking, is it true that if you stay in an area for like 6 days, then the cougar will start to hunt you? It's not the same as it was with Cougar 1.0, where it will actually seek you out and hunt you. So the cougar has, like, whenever it spawns in, it has this little area that it roams by its spawn location. And the longer you're in that region, it'll start to get wider and wider. It'll start to cover more area where it's looking, but it won't actually come and like seek you out. So say if it spawns on one side of the map and you're all the way on the other, it's not going to come that far to seek you out. It's just going to slowly expand the area that it's wandering around in.
Kind of starts in like a zone of interest, and that zone grows over the map over time.
So when you create a save, because I turned my Cougar on when I created my save. So when you turn it on, no matter where you spawn, like there will be a spawn on the map where the Cougar is, and then if you spend loads of time in that area, sort of not necessarily knowing where it is, but if you spend a lot of time in that area, that's when it sort of gets a bit aggro, and I need to be careful as well.
Its area of patrol, or whatever you want to call it, its area of influence will grow on the map. You'll get a very good warning that it's happening. You'll get a little cutscene.
Okay.
Yeah, and it also shows up on the map too to show you where its spawn locations are.
So even if you don't have any mapping done, it'll still show you this, Cougar's face on a dark part of the map.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Not the world map, but like the local map.
The local map. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. I need to keep an eye out for that, because I've been to quite a few regions and I've not seen it. So that tells me that I should see it soon.
Yep.
Yeah. Voyager's what, about 80 days, I think?
Oh, like it doesn't spawn for 80 days.
Yeah. You get a grace period. I think
awesome.
Yeah, I don't think you've gotten far enough on your Voyager run. If you're at 52 days, you still got a few days before you see it. But yeah, it's like, I think I want to say it's like 80 days.
Yeah, I'm double checking right now on the wiki. Just so Voyager, it says 30 days.
That seems low.
Yeah, estimated arrival day is 30 days, and then the guarantee arrival day is on day 33.
So you would have had a cutscene by now. You would have noticed it. It's very prominent.
Yeah, no, that must be. I don't know. It's definitely on.
Cougar 1.0 is terrifying, and it's such an event.
Yeah.
We had a podcast on that a few months ago. Well, it was about a month and a half ago, and we had to go back and you can do some things to go back to that play where the old Cougar was in there, and Jitwire and I went and experienced it so that we could do that podcast, and we came away completely different opinion on the Cougar.
Yeah.
On that podcast, but yeah.
Yeah, and Faye was asking if the Cougar is just DLC, and yes, it's just DLC.
DLC, yeah.
So Slip Gear, it's no longer how many days you stay in a region, it's days survived. Cougar 1.0 was how many days you were in a region, but Cougar 2.0 takes into like the global time of how long you've survived, and then it'll spawn into the world.
And then it becomes your best friend.
And then it's all over the place. Yeah.
There's only one though, right?
No.
There's more than one.
There's one everywhere.
Yeah.
There's always one.
Yeah. Just like the rabbits, there's always that one.
Yeah, no, I wish they did it if you still did it the way they did before. Like if you stayed in one region for more than 30 days, it would trigger spawn. But no, not anymore. And Pyro is saying there can be up to 3 per region. So you start with 1 spawn that's like per region, and then if you go and mess with it, it'll trigger more Cougar spawns in that region, up to 3.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm quite scared of bears and stuff. I feel like I did the hunted part 1 and part 2 today, and I saw how fast the bear can run, and it's it's just like it's actually dangerous. It's genuinely scary, It's
The first Cougar encounter when we were doing our deal, I sat in my chair and I couldn't move nothing. It was just like, oh my Lord, this is amazing and scary and everything all at once.
Take me.
Yep. And Mark is asking if you can kill the Cougar with a hunting rifle. Is it risky? Yeah, you can kill it with a hunting rifle. You can kill it with a revolver, bow and arrow, but it is a bit of a bullet/arrow soak, so you gotta shoot it quite a few times. Yeah, Sam is going to look at his map every couple minutes to see if the cougar hasn't appeared yet.
He's in my head. He's in my head.
Yeah.
The moose is the moose is worse than the bear. I think I've seen a moose, but I don't think I haven't had that interaction because it's stomps
intimidating.
you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's intimidating.
Yeah, I saw there was one near the lighthouse, and I was just not interested. To be honest, I wasn't.
Nope.
No, I'm not doing that yet. So.
Yeah, the moose doesn't roam around like the bear does, so it stays in its little area, and you can work around it.
Yeah, and the cougar's kind of like the moose in that sense. That's what we were kind of talking about earlier, so I don't confuse anyone. The moose or the cougar kind of acts like a moose. It stays in a little area, roams around, but that area will eventually grow a little bit bigger if you're in that region for a really long time. But other than that, that's what I was saying. Like if you're on one side of the map and it spawns on the other, you're probably not going to see it wandering over by you if you're there for a really long time.
Casual Zach is saying having 4 rope climbs with multiple broken ribs is a nightmare. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You can do it. You can climb the rope with broken ribs. You got to have a stem, but you
got to have a stem, but you can do it. Yeah.
But not recommended.
Neither are stims, to be honest. I love the effect. I love the unlimited stamina. As soon as it runs out, instant regret.
Mm-hmm.
You have to plan them.
Everything's gone. Yep. Stamina's gone. I'm tired.
Unless it's a dire emergency and you got to do it to save your life, obviously. But you can strategically use them too. But you kind of got to know, I need a place to take a nap afterwards because it's going to be brutal.
Yeah. For sure. But I guess we should probably start wrapping up. We're well over an hour.
Yeah,
so.
hour and 15 minutes. We're having a good time talking.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
But
so
with us winding this out, anything you want to share with us before we close the show, Esseffe?
I was hoping you could. I'll be completely honest. I was really hoping that one of you would have like a sentence that you could give me that was going to save my life. But the more I learn about this game, the more I understand that like there's just no easy way out. You know, I'm just not going to learn unless I lose, which is scary because I'm getting to the point now where my characters actually kind of mean something. You know, like maybe not the Voyager run because I chose the guy on that one and he annoys me when he's tired with his his really loud panting. But the Stalker run I've got, I'm really starting to enjoy that, and I don't just want to sort of make any silly mistakes. So if there's anything that you guys can give me, any areas to like absolutely avoid or pieces of equipment to prioritize, then I'd appreciate that.
So I would say go get the ballistic vest from Blackrock Prison. Simply because it gives you a lot of armor protection. So if you do get attacked by an animal, it's going to do a lot less damage to you. It'll still wreck your clothes, but as far as your health, it'll do less damage.
Okay, sweet. Okay.
And if you just went to Blackrock, you're very close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't spoil anything, but
no.
I'm pretty sure I'm almost at the prison, so yeah, I'll make sure to grab it. And someone said something about a backpack as well. There's like a backpack that can give you extra carrying capacity.
That's in Ash Canyon. That's in your demon map.
Okay, that's 2026, I reckon.
Yes, down the road. Yeah, I'd say the things that you learn to carry are you plan for emergencies. You know that the first moment you meet a wolf is going to be the moment you can't light a torch because the wind's blowing. So you keep a flare with you. Little things like that. That's the best deal. And then I can't stress enough, just take a moment and spawn in a map, whether it's on Voyager or even a custom with no animals or whatever, and just meander. Walk around.
Yeah.
That the animals being on will help you because then you kind of know, oh, hey, there's a wolf that's generally here or whatever. Knowing that a little bit ahead of time can save you from making foolish mistakes. There's nothing better than running over the hill and going, oh, hi, bear, nice to see you, and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
okay.
So there's
Just
no
think
magic.
ahead.
There's no magic words that I can share. Just enjoy the ride.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll come back in like 100 hours and we can laugh at all the stupid mistakes I made.
There we go. You got a deal.
Sounds great. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to share with us and share with the audience and everything. And um, I'm
a
just
blast.
tickled. I'm tickled pink when I'm watching you the same way everybody else is. And if there's anything we can do to be a guide at all, by all means, just tune in. That's what we talk about.
Always,
week to week. So by all means, and thank you too, also for spreading the word and getting our little podcast
No, of course. You guys are honestly everything the Long Dark. Like the whole vibe I get from the game, I get from your podcast. You're like honestly perfect for the Long Dark. Probably other games as well, to be honest, but definitely Long Dark. You're like the pace, the topics of discussion, everything. You guys are awesome. So
at some point we're working on expanding, but we've been trying to grow the channel, and kind of why we called it Survivor's Corner. We want to do more survival games, and we have stuff in the background that we haven't done. But I'll quit talking and let Jetware get her last piece in.
Yeah. I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us, and also thank you for the very lovely comments. I'm glad you think we kind of suit and everything goes well, and I really appreciate that, and definitely would love to have you back on.
Yes, when I've got a bit more experience, you guys can get like another newbie on, and I can come on in the background and be like,
yes.
Once you kill the Aurora rabbit, we'll have you back.
Oh, brilliant! Okay, deal. No, thank you for having me on. It's been awesome. So I needed this. So
good. Well,
so say goodbye.
Yeah. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Please don't forget to go check out Esseffe's channel. It is linked in the description and will also be linked down in the pinned comment after the show. We really appreciate it, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.